why are these Black Sea headquarters such a crucial target? Explain to us the significance of this attack.
Well, when you look at a campaign like Ukraine, or indeed any other campaign in military terms, we talk about the close battle, which is what's going on in the two provinces, the attempt to break through the Russian defenses and so on. And that at the moment is still pretty attritional and has gone on longer than any of us would have wanted. We then talk about the deep battle and indeed a rear battle. So what Ukraine is attempting to do is to fight this deep battle well behind the front line, which is the Russian rear battle in inverted commas, and that deep battle is proving to be very successful, actually. And what's interesting is the Ukraine don't have a particularly strong navy, but what they're showing by using the Storm Shadow and the equivalent, the French and indeed their own missiles, is they are disrupting the Russian navy. There's no doubt about that, and they're hitting Crimea on a pretty continuous basis.
And
So
it's
winning that rear battle is important psychologically. It's important from a symbolic point of view because it's Crimea, but it is actually a key military battle as well.
and there's a practical significance to it because of the exports of grain. Is that right?
Well, the grain comes mostly from Odessa, which is further to the west, of course. But the Russians have been blockading that, and their ability to blockade it and all that's been going on in that arena will be affected because clearly they are worried about what Ukraine is capable of doing. I mean, Ukraine, as we remember, sunk the Moskva some time ago. They sunk a Kilo-class submarine. They hit another surface ship in Crimea, and this attack today is, it's a serious hit on their naval headquarters because that naval headquarters is clearly where all the campaign planning and the operational plans are put together. So
And
I don't think this will make a huge difference immediately to the grain exports, but it is part of a continuing process that maybe will make a difference if the Russians are prepared to, not negotiate in a sort of war sense, but negotiate over the grain business, which they did last time through Turkey.
And let me ask you about another story that's breaking this afternoon. Reports that the US is supplying Kyiv with long-range missiles for the first time. Obviously, Volodymyr Zelensky was in Canada today, previously in the
Yeah.
US, where some Republicans are really deeply opposed to the level of support that Joe Biden's shown already. What are the implications of this report if it's true?
Well, as you say, the Republicans have been pretty vocal, and the leaving aside Donald Trump, the three key frontrunners have all said that they are worried about Ukraine. I don't think they're against supporting Ukraine, but what they're saying is we need accountability for all of this stuff.
Mm.
I mean, what's interesting in a broader context, you'll remember in World War II, we had Lend-Lease, where we paid the Americans for all the stuff they gave us. I'm not quite sure who's paying for all this stuff, but
Yeah.
we, the US, other nations are beginning to run out of stuff. And the deep battle, giving them that long-range missile capability, and the Americans have a capability which reaches out probably another 100 kilometers beyond what Ukraine has got at the moment, which enables that, again, that deep battle to be taken even deeper.
Mm.
And that's important. And there's no doubt at all that we in the West have got to continue to support Ukraine in this. Otherwise, there is a real danger that Ukraine will not be able to hold firm. And therefore, the whole US political scene, of course, is dominated by the elections coming up next year.
Mm.
All sorts of things that politicians say. I mean, you know that better than I. You interview half of them
Mm.
half your life. So, you need to be very careful about how you interpret what some of these guys are saying.
Yeah.
But if they are now saying that they're going to support Ukraine with longer range missiles, that is a very positive move from
Major
President Zelensky's point of view.